Hey, John. My name's Nelson Mason. I'm going to be your Racers 360 coach here for NCM. So we'll get right into it. I've got both the data and the video, and we'll go through both together and make find the next little step of time that we can find. So first off, really good lap. You obviously have the fundamentals, and you're using the right car. I would 100% say. Yeah, you've got the fundamentals. You know how to attack the track, which is good to see. And there's just some things that we can definitely find little improvements in to just, like I say, find those next steps of time. So as we come into 1A, 1B here, I like the way that you do it. Like, you do carry the speed in well, and we're attacking from the right to the left. When we switch back to the data, what we'll see is that we decelerate. We kind of accelerate a little bit, decelerate again, and then accelerate out. What I would like to see is we kind of merge this deceleration as much as possible. And obviously there's going to be a little bit of negative side effect, but we hope that the positive side effect outweighs it. So as we just roll back here just slightly, what I would say, so as we come in here, very good. We're going to be carrying the speed through here over this right-hand curb, and then we are going to be using quite a bit of track over here and then keeping it tucked left. But if we force our deceleration all to be one, fell swoop, that's going to be much better for us than what I would say, like, trying to stop, then accelerate between the two, then stop again. We'll carry that speed in as best we can, and we will have the gain there. So when we switch back to the data, here is turn one. And what I mean is, and how I would like it to look is, so here's our point of deceleration. We're coming down, but we can probably ease the deceleration just a little bit and try to roll over this curve a little bit. And maybe we'll be like this. Maybe we'll be slightly more decelerated and then get the car rotated. Or just being realistic, let's just say that, the deceleration is coming down like this, and we're just under this graph a little bit, but we still get it turned and accelerated out here. When we do that and we get the car rotated and accelerated out, we're still going to find time. So really, I would say that's the key. This is what we're going to shoot for. There's more time here than we're technically losing here. Okay. I'll switch back now. Okay, here we are. So now we'll, that's really the only correction I'd make. I think you're quite good in here. You get it stopped here, and then the thing that I like with your driving style is, okay, here's our apex. For the most part, I don't have to bang on about the fact that I want to be on the power at the apex, not before the apex, right? So I want to carry enough speed in that I'm getting the car, turned and rotated, and the apex is like where I've got the car the most steering angle. And the moment I start opening up my hands and and aiming for the exit, that's when I start getting into the power. And when I get into the power, I'm very, very aggressive in getting into the power. I don't like doing the, staying at 10, 15% throttle as we drive through the corner. I want to get the car in, get it stopped, turned, rotated, and then out we go. Okay, and you're very good at that. Most sections of the track. There's areas that we can still improve, but I mean, Christ, there's areas that I can improve too. So that's the state of the game. But we are very good here for sure. On power, using all the road, easy flat through the right, hard on the brakes. Now again, we brake in a really straight line, but what we can probably, let me play this through. Yeah, we stop the car a lot and get it rotated. I would say we can probably get away with rolling a little bit of speed down here a little bit more, carrying our deceleration down here a little bit and letting the car rotate out here. We don't have to get the car completely rotated, you know, at this point here and then get it going this way. We can carry the speed a little bit deeper and then, you know, make our true apex more like out here a little bit. So if I clear all this garbage off the screen for a second, as we roll through here, like we get a lot of the rotation done here, but what I'm saying is kind of carrying the speed across here a little bit and allowing this to get the car rotated. So we've got the car way out here on the exit, and then boom, we're flat back to the throttle, right? We're hard in it after that. And we're using, you know, we're kind of out here and using all of this road, but then we're just back to the throttle. So really it's, again, it's, you know, the graph should look like a full deceleration, then acceleration. And we'll cut to the data just to look at this. So here's where we're at. And that really is how it looks, where we're getting the car slowed up and then like this. But I guess the way I'm sort of suggesting it look is, again, we're decelerating the car, but maybe we're just rolling in a little bit more and then getting the car rotated and accelerated here instead of stopping the car quite so much. So not having this little minimum speed. Worth an effort. I think it's something that we can do because we have a lot of track there that we're not utilizing. As we come along here, we'll cut back and forth. Hard on the power, good acceleration out. Flat through here. Braking in a straight line. So here, I mean, I'm guessing you have a PDK maybe. So that's why we're kind of in between gears there. But, you know, with here, like we can attack in this corner, right? Because, you know, at the end of the day, there's no true apex, or we never hit an apex. So we can attack in here and use it really like a high speed corner. So we come in, you know, we can have a little bit more aggression on turn in maybe. Like we have our deceleration, we come from the outside of the track, attack through the right hander, here's our true apex, and accelerate out from there. You know, that's really how I would treat it. I would treat it as one corner, this one. But let's get to the apex a little bit more here. And then the car rolls out when we get back into the power. I mean, there's two schools of thought. We don't, you know, we can really carry the speed in because the exit doesn't matter. The exit's so short, and then we have to get the car stopped and turned anyway. So let's really attack that entry. You know, so I'm not on gas at the apex. I'm on gas actually later than the apex because I'm really attacking the entry, and I'm allowing the whole corner to allow my deceleration. And then, you know, coming out, exiting wide. And so I guess just what I'm saying there is because we're coming off of a long straight, let's elongate that long straight as much as we can. And then this short shoot, we're just making even shorter by getting on the gas later. But it's because we're carrying in more speed into the right hander and using the whole right hander as a deceleration. And so again here, yeah, I mean, we're on gas a little bit before the apex, not drastically, but as long as we're looking ahead, right? I want to be looking ahead from this point. Okay, here's our apex. We're coming through here. I'm looking ahead and boom, on power out here. Or well, on power here, I mean, but like hard on the power coming out of here. So just be looking for this apex, looking ahead, and okay, there's our exit. Let me clean all this up. So, you know, apex right across here. Here's our exit, and away we go. All right. So just be mindful. Let's carry the speed in a little bit so that we're not on power before the apex. Good. Good through there. Yeah, and here let's just be mindful again of the type of turn that it is. So, here I would say we've done good, but if we get into the apex here, if we apex anywhere here instead of kind of like, we miss it because we slide. I get that, and that's the way that it goes because we're pushing. But if we get into that apex there, then we can basically be from, let's say, this point here, we're flat out to the exit. Like we're boom, back into the power. So it's important to get the car, we don't always have to carry so much entry speed. We can get the car kind of stopped and rotated a little bit and then hard into the power. And what that power is going to do is it's going to allow us to just get a gangbuster exit. And then we're going to be flying out of here. Break in a straight line, get it woed up. Okay. So that is, I would say, about right. Now, when we come to the track attack and we move along here, so, here's kind of where I was talking about where we can really carry the speed in. So when we come through here, we can decelerate it in a little bit and it might just be like this, right? But we're going to gain so much in this time. So yeah, we lose a little bit here, but we'll gain so much on the entry. It may be beneficial. I think it's worth a shot. And then as we come, because I don't think that even the exit will be that drastic. We'll still accelerate the same, but we're just coming in a little bit later. And then as we get the car stopped and rotated, again, I would like to see it where we're decelerating, getting it stopped, rotated, and coming out. Being hard back into the throttle. That's what I want to see. And then where we're at here, this is sort of where we're mid throttle a bit, not getting back to full throttle through here. We're kind of trying to get back to full throttle. Let's keep fighting that. Let's try to get to full throttle because it'll accelerate nice and clean up. And then we come in here, we decelerate. And again, we decelerate. Maybe we decelerate a little bit more, get it stopped and rotated. And then we're going to come out a little bit better. Like it would kind of look like this, I would say. Right, so a little bit of difference in here where we're a little bit lower. We're a little bit like slower on our actual mid-corner speed or our minimum speed, but then we get the car rotated and accelerated a little bit better. Okay, so there's one small area that we might be able to improve here as well. And then as we come down, we're coming down hard into the hairpin, and you do a good job getting it slowed down pretty smoothly through here. I do like what I see, and then getting the car stopped and rotated. So, the only real improvement here would be to just kind of merge this a little bit more. So our deceleration is more straight to one point and then accelerating out. So just working on that, being a little bit smoother in our deceleration, attacking that a little bit more. But for the most part, really good going into there. Really, really good. So I'd say the big keys thus far are just trying to bring our decelerations a little bit deeper into the corners. In the first section, not stopping the car so much. But then in these later corners that we've just discovered, just stopping and getting the car rotated a bit quicker than trying to carry a little bit more through, if that makes sense. But so far, I would say a really, really good lap, and something that, we're definitely on the pace with. Yeah, there, I mean, we can carry, we don't have to, slow the car down too much going in there. We can carry the speed over because we have a lot of room on the exit. And this left-hander is really easy flat. So, we have to be mindful of the fact that this is all a straight, and we can carry the speed across here. We're jumping the curb, which maybe is upsetting it a bit much. But as we come across here, like, just remember it's kind of like mid-Ohio or something where we can open the steering just that little bit more, allow the car that little bit more freedom. We come across here, we can use up a little bit more of the road, and then we're still easy flat through this left-hander. So let's use the road if it's available to us and it's easy for us to do so. Yeah, and here, I mean, we get the car stopped a lot, and then we accelerate through. Now, I guess we need to get the car rotated here, but we have a ton of road, so for me, this is a little bit of a pick'em. It's a very tricky section, I would say, but yeah, I mean, I think if we can not stop the car so much, carry a little bit more speed in, and carry that speed through a little bit better, we might be better off. But actually, that kind of goes against what I really believe in. It's a weird section. Yeah, what we do is we don't focus so much on the straight line braking. The key, I think, here is to brake lighter, not later. So if we're a little bit lighter into the brake pedal, it's going to allow us, we can keep the car over here a little bit more and have a much better approach at this initial apex coming through here. Because right now the issue is we've got the car pointed in completely the wrong direction. We're pointed out here, and we realistically want to be pointed here. So that's really the key to focus on, is try not to brake so hard, because we're decelerating the car almost too much, and then we're having to accelerate again. So let's ease into the brake a little bit more, allow a little bit more rotation in the car, and we can carry that speed right through the apex of the corner. And we'll have the car traveling in the right direction through here as well. Okay, instead of just focusing so much on braking in a straight line. And then we'll be able to, we'll be carrying this speed down through here, and we'll be using up a lot more of the road, but we'll be over here, and we'll be already straight and set up for the next one. And then when we come in here, the other benefit is we'll be traveling in this direction rather than like this. There, I just, at the apex, I don't want to be before the apex so much. And here, don't be afraid. We've got a lot of room. Drive this car in. Let's double apex this. So we kind of start cutting down. I don't want to do that. I want to stay out here, and then I want to kind of attack this, get it in here, get it rotated, and out we go. So okay, so we look at the track, it looks like this. Let me get a color that we can draw. Okay, so the track looks like this. right? And the approach we're taking right now is like this. You know, or whatever. So the way I'd like to do it is out here a little bit more. I slipped. Out here a little bit more. And attacking, so it's going to look like this. Why can't I draw all of a sudden? And it's going to look like this. We get the car rotated, and away we go, right? So we're going to be rotating, 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 getting it turned, rotating, and out we go. All right, so we're decelerating the car in deep, coming in as far into the center line of the corner as we can, then getting the car rotated over here, and then we're basically powering out. Okay, instead of kind of on power here and driving it around the corner and then getting to full power over here. We're decelerating kind of all the way in, decelerating, trying to keep it, you know, in the middle portion of the track here, not getting too far out where we're in the marbles or anything like that. But that's going to be the way forward. So right now we cut low, which is fine, but I would like to be coming in just with a little bit more trajectory so that we can come in a little bit more like this rather than doing this and then driving around. And we're coming in over here a little bit more, and then that's where we're getting it decelerated and rotated a little bit better. So this power, I want to avoid this sort of power application where we're turning and driving, because we're still decelerating and we're coming out here. We get the car rotated out here, like not way out here, of course, but like middle of the track. We get the car rotated and we bring it back. And then that's going to kind of allow us to shoot down into here. And then it's the same thing. Whoop. You know, we're going to attack on entry a little bit, get the car sort of stopped, rotated, and then accelerate out. So we're going to just delay that initial throttle a little bit through that section. And then boom, on throttle, on throttle, on throttle, flat, 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 flat. Very good. Very good. So let's just look at the data through this area. So, yeah, okay. So we talked about that in there. I think, you know, we can delay that deceleration a little bit. And then as we come into here, so we've decelerated and then we've sort of held it the same. What I would like to see is we kind of do this again. Right, so the negative or the minimum speeds won't be so, you know, so drastically low compared to this, but what I'm saying is like the way that we approach the corner will be so much better. It'll actually look, I think, more like this. Right? I think this is kind of more how it'll look. And we'll be just Ving up these corners a little bit more. It'll also allow our consistency to be so much better because we'll be able to reproduce this every time. We're boom, driving it in, getting it slowed down, getting it slowed down. And that's why, because we're turning so much, that's why our deceleration is like this. It's not just like straight down. It's like, whoa, we're trying to slow her down, and then boom, here we come. We're coming out. Okay. So that's kind of where the data will kind of look. And then as we come through here, yeah, like we're going to clip through the left and then we're going to be hard on power on the out. I want to get, you know, more trying really to get to full pedal all the way through there. Okay. But very good job. Very, very good job. Definitely the best lap I've seen around here. So, from the laps we've coached. So, big thing, let's just focus on where we're getting on throttle. And then let's try to be smart about how we're carrying that speed into these corners. Okay. But great job, John. We'll speak soon. And honestly, I hope this has been assistance in all these tricky little areas. That's really it, is like we have the toolbox here. You're doing really, really well. We can maximize this. All right. All the best this weekend. Take care.